Welcome to the Her Handmade Hustle Unplugged podcast. I'm Joanne Pearce, a female entrepreneur, small business coach, and a creative business owner on a mission to help and inspire other women out there who want to make a decent living doing something they love. If you have your own small business, or maybe you've been thinking about starting one but not sure where to start, then this podcast is for you. I share everything I know about starting a creative business from my own experience of running my handmade stationery company, Vintage Twee. It's as honest and as down to earth as me, and it's an eclectic mix of sound business advice, northern humour, and real life, because it's not easy, is it? This podcast celebrates the selflessness, the strength, and resilience of women, because we possess a superpower so great that we can handle whatever life throws at us and come out the other side. We are survivors, we are warriors, and we are as determined as hell to succeed. Hello. Thank you for joining me for today's episode. Hopefully this is going to be the last one that I'll have to record at 10 p.m. in the kitchen because the summer holidays are finally drawing to a close and normality will be resumed. For those of you with school children, God, I really hope you survived. We did it. We did it somehow. I was in Tesco the other day and I bumped into a mum that I see in passing on the school run every single day. And she works there. And I asked her, and I was like, how have you been getting on? How have the holidays been for you? And she said to me, oh God, Joanne, it's gone so fast, hasn't it? And I just smiled at her and nodded enthusiastically. And inside I was just thinking, are you serious? Maybe for you, because you're in here working every day. But anyway, I quickly identified that she wasn't part of my tribe. But then I just texted my normal mum friends when I got back to check that they also felt like time had been going backwards for the last 6 weeks. And one of them replied and told me that she was currently hiding from her kids in the loft. And the other one was planning a 2-night getaway alone somewhere with no phone signal. So I instantly felt much better. They are my people. So yes, I hope that everybody is well. What are we talking about today? Well, we're using today's episode to catapult us into doing something brave. Something that you might have been wanting to do for a long time or maybe a short time, but you've just felt too afraid to do it. And that thing is opening up an Etsy shop. So maybe it's something that, say, you've wanted to do or you've thought about it, but you just didn't know where to start or even how to go about it, because that's always the problem, isn't it? It's getting started. Well, you don't need to worry anymore because I am actually going to do it with you. So I am going to be recording my whole experience setting up a brand new Etsy shop from scratch, just so you can see exactly how I do it. And I'm going to be showing you everything that I do via a recorded video footage of me opening up my new shop. And it's going to be for Her Handmade Hustle. So I'm going to be selling a variety of digital prints to brighten up the workspaces of all you female bosses out there. So we've got empowering prints and motivational prints, funny ones, a little bit witty. They are a bit sweary, so if you're easily offended, I'm not sure they'll be for you. But it's going to be ace. It's something a bit different for me. I'm a designer by trade, so I've kind of missed that side of things at the moment while I've been off. So I decided to put some energies into this side of my business and just see if people like them and record the journey as I go along, because I know that as a new seller and let's see, this year, it's hard. It's really hard from when I started. So I'm going to be filming my screen. So as I do it, you can watch and learn exactly how to do it yourself. So it's kind of like half the problem, isn't it? When you think you want to do something and then just not sure how. So this way you can pause me as you go along and open your shop with me. It's that sort of fear of the unknown, I think. So my aim is I want to remove that factor for you so you know exactly what to expect. If you do decide to open up an Etsy shop yourself, just take the leap or even improve the one that you might already have if you've already got one open. I'll be showing you all the basics that you need to do to get your shop open, how to add a logo, a banner, your business bio, and then we're going to be covering how to add things like product listings properly, ones that actually get found amongst the mass of stuff that is now just swamped on Etsy, isn't it? It's so different to when I started my other Etsy shop, my first one for Vintage Twee, which was like nearly 15 years ago now. So much has changed, which I'm going to talk about in this episode today. I'm going to be showing you things like how to use the messaging service on there, the Etsy conversations, how to work out your finances and understand the fees, look at things like the stats, how to do basic admin tasks, such as activate holiday mode when you've had enough and you just want to bugger off for a few days. That's the important things to know. How to process orders, ship them, set your delivery costs, etc. All of it. All the day-to-day running of an online business. I'm going to do it with you. So you can watch me run my Etsy shop, and I'm going to be uploading all the videos that I record to Her Handmade Hustle's YouTube channel. So if you want to subscribe to that, it's totally free. I know when people hear the word subscribe, they think, oh God, what's it going to cost me per month? Well, absolutely nothing. Search me out on YouTube, and I'll also put a link to my channel in the show notes so you can find me on there. So do subscribe, and then you will be notified when I upload a video, so you know it's on there. So today's episode, it's really a bit of an introduction to this video documentary Etsy series that I'm going to be talking about, and some of the fears that you may have surrounding selling online, particularly on that platform, and hopefully just try and put your mind at ease a little bit. Or not. You might decide after listening to this that it's totally not for you, or after watching my experience, and that's okay too. I'm not saying it's bad. Obviously, I'm an experienced Etsy seller. I know what I'm doing. But there are parts of it that aren't as fun. That's just like any job, isn't it? But we'll do them together. I just thought it'd be really helpful and interesting to watch someone else do it step by step. And then if you decide that you want to do it as well, you can literally just play my videos as you do it. So you've got me by your side, just for that bit of backup. It's scary doing something that you've never done before, isn't it? Especially when maybe you don't fully understand it as well. And I think fear, it can just be so crippling, and it will stop us. It will stop us from doing so many things that we want to do. I mean, I get scared all the time, right? I really do. I'm such a worrywart. I worry about everything. But I'm trying my best not to ever let fear stop me living my life. I mean, God, it's the reason why I decided to have my breast removed, because I didn't want to live in fear of them trying to kill me. I wasn't going to roll those dice. And, new things in business or otherwise, they're always going to put the fear of God in us if we've not done them before. Unless, of course, you're one of those annoying people who just don't ever worry, right? If that's you, I'm sorry, you're not really annoying. I'm just jealous of your ability to just have this mindset and sail through life without stress. It's amazing. But I think most of us feel a certain degree of varying intensities when we are faced with new experiences, because it's frightening. And personally, there was no better time to start a new Etsy shop for me, because obviously I haven't got enough on my plate already, But I thought it was a good time because there are just a lot of new experiences coming up for me at the moment, or that have just happened, that require me to put my big girl pants on. The things that carry a certain amount of fear and anxiety, which I've never done before, because I think it's that unpredictability factor that tends to make us nervous. And it's things that I know have to happen in order for the cogs of life to keep turning, or to be able to move on to the next chapter and make progress in one way or another. So just to give you an example or two, some of the stuff that's coming up in my life are, which new worries. My daughter starts school on Friday. She starts reception. I'm really terrified. I can't stop thinking about it, even though it's not going to be much different to the fact that she was in nursery 4 days a week, same hours. I don't know why I'm so scared. I'm positive that she'll have a totally different experience to me, because I didn't have a great one at school, and it'll all be fine, I'm sure. But I am nervous as hell. I've got new anxieties as my sister finishes her last chemotherapy session today, probably right now. She may be listening to this. And then, she's got another operation to face after that, where we find out if we've done enough. And in a work capacity, I've got new experiences to navigate, namely that I'm starting I've got first round of podcast interviews with real people and female entrepreneurs that aren't my family or best friends. I've got all that coming up this month. And there's also new discoveries that are going on. This one's not so much me, but it's about my daughter who asked one of the questions that every parent dreads, but knows it's coming, right? Once they've hit 5 years old. Older if you're lucky. But so 6 months ago, she proclaimed to me that she'll only ever eat chicken nuggets that don't come from actual chickens. Because she likes chickens, and she doesn't want to eat them. It's fair enough. So you just nod along, don't you? Say, oh yeah, it's lovely, darling. Yeah, really thoughtful. And last week we were in Tesco and she was like sat in the trolley as I was pushing her around. And I dumped like a whole chicken in there for our roast dinner that evening. And she just looked at it like, and looked at me, then looked back at the chicken again. And she goes, Mummy, is that a dead chicken? I just knew in that moment that she'd put two and two together, connected the dots, on where chicken nuggets actually come from. So at that point, I obviously immediately distracted her and then took her for a chicken nugget Happy Meal afterwards. And always forgotten. Favourite meal ever. Always forgotten for now. So my point is, yes, new things are on the horizon. They're scary, but they are also necessary if you want to move forward and progress and not stay standing still anymore. So let's talk about Etsy. I'm not going to lie, I was hesitant about opening a second shop now in 2024, as it's like a brand new seller again. It's quite scary because Vintage Twee, my other business, is like 15 years old now. And Etsy is where it all started for me. It launched my business. It was the best thing I ever did. But I realise that it's a very different experience now. And there's so many things that you need to do in order to be found and seen on there because it's such a huge marketplace. It's international, it's open to everyone, which is both a good and a bad thing, which we'll get into. And it's just really overwhelming. Even I feel like that. And I find that as a buyer, I don't know about you if you shop on Etsy, but if I go on there to look for something, especially if I'm not 100% sure what it is that I want, but I know, say, it's definitely a personalised gift of some kind for like a female friend, I'll type that in to the search bar and literally like a million results come back. And I'll be dead before I get to the end of that list, or probably of boredom. I just think, oh God, it's too much. And sometimes I just end up closing down the webpage because I literally cannot be bothered looking through them all. I mean, who can? You just want someone to say, this is the personalised gift for you. That's exactly what you're looking for. Here you go. Okay, but it doesn't happen on there. And I think that's the first important thing that you need to make sure you're doing if you're going to sell on Etsy. And that is serving a particular niche. I hate that word, but it's true. So, for example, like a customer who knows what they want, and you want the people that want what you do. Okay, you don't want people like me when I'm not sure what I'm looking for. Sometimes I am, but when I'm not, you don't want those sorts of people. You want people who are actively searching your niche out, your area of speciality, your particular talent or skill. So don't try and be too general and appeal to everyone on there, or you just won't get found. Trust me. It's okay to make personalised gifts for women. Of course it is. That's what a lot of us do. Just be specific as to what they are. And you don't need to be frightened of that, say, of niching down and saying, this is what I do and these are who they're for. And it's something that we will cover when I show you how to create product listings that are effective and they're going to pop up when your target audience is searching for them. We're going to go into that, especially in the video series, which will be in a couple of weeks' time. So taking my new Etsy shop as an example, I'm selling downloadable prints, okay? Ones that I've designed, and then you buy the files and you print them out yourself. So it's fast, it's affordable, it's convenient to the buyer, and it's also very popular. In fact, digital wall art is one of the most popular products on Etsy. It's like the most searched for and the most purchased. So I keep thinking to myself, how the hell am I going to stand out? How am I going to be different? Is it worth me opening up my own Etsy shop doing pretty much the same thing? So, yes, it is. And I have been learning ways to see if I can do it. I've been trying out some new things, which is what I'm sharing with you so that you can do the same. And if it works for me, And if I manage to get noticed, and more importantly, make some actual sales, then you can most definitely do it too. And I'm going to help you. That's the whole point of this. Okay, so what is it that I am doing to get my product seen on there amongst all of the million, billion, trillion others on Etsy? There's a ridiculous amount. So, first of all, as I mentioned, I picked a niche. So, I am not creating prints for babies' rooms or any Van Gogh inspired landscapes or flowers or anything like that. My niche is very much as it is the Handmade Hustle. It's female bosses, office prints and decor, and entrepreneur gifts, for females, for women with their own businesses, and women with small businesses. Now that narrows my circle of potential buyers down massively. But that's not a bad thing, because that just means that the people who find my stuff are going to be the people who are actually looking for it and have got an intention to buy it. As long as there's still an audience looking for this niche, it's all good, because all you need is to be popular and visible in that particular area in order to be found. And I say it has to be found by the right people who know what they want and they're ready to buy. And you're not limiting yourself by creating a niche. In fact, you're doing the opposite. Okay, and I'll just tell you about this one lady that my friend told me about who was on Etsy, and I don't think she is anymore, but she basically sold guinea pig related items, right? I don't even know what they were, but she said her speciality was guinea pigs. And must have just been like gifts, guinea pig themed gifts. Well, apparently she did amazing, absolutely amazing. And that just shows you that if you've got something that people want, you've obviously got a lot of guinea pig fans out there who are buying her stuff. It worked. She didn't have the competition because there's not a lot of people doing guinea pig themed things. There's an idea for you. And it worked for her. So I don't know where she is now and what she's doing. Maybe she just got so busy she couldn't cope anymore. But that's a little story about how being niche isn't harmful to you. In fact, you're actually going to expand quicker and you're going to grow faster if you've got like an army of like-minded fans and followers and customers who are looking for exactly what it is that you do. But how do you know if your niche isn't too specific or if your audience even exists in the first place? So how did this lady know that she had all these guinea pig fans out there? How do I know that I've got female bosses out there or people looking for office decor and prints to brighten up their workspace? How do I know? Well, I obviously had to check this out before I committed to this whole experiment, because there was absolutely no point in me starting something if no one was out there looking for it. There are a couple of ways that you can start researching this, which are Etsy specific, so you'll know if it's something worth investing your time in. So we'll just briefly talk about those now. So firstly, you can literally just go on Etsy as if you were a buyer, and the search bar at the top, as if you're going to type in something that you were looking for. Do that. Type in the search bar what it is that you're selling, as if you were the customer. And as you type, you'll start to see Etsy showing a list of popular search terms that people are typing in. So, for example, I start typing in the word office and office decor comes up, as well as office prints. Also, things like office wall art, office wall prints, funny office gifts, all this sort of stuff starts coming up. And that's showing me what people are typing in. It tells you the most popular search terms of what people are typing in. And these will be some of your keywords, because Etsy's literally just showing you. They're just showing you what people are looking for. It's really useful. So that's your first thing to do. Grab a pen, start typing in Etsy search bar what it is you sell, and write down some of the keywords that come up, which shows what people are looking for. Secondly, you can find out exactly what people are searching for by using a tool such as Google Keyword Planner or something called eRank, which is what I use, and that can get very specific just to Etsy. So Google Keyword Planner is completely free. It's not Etsy specific, so you can find out what people are looking for across that particular search engine, in Google. What are people looking for, what they're typing in, which is obviously still really helpful, because once you know this, you can be sure that you're tailoring your offering to meet the need. eRank is a little bit different in that you can get specific to Etsy and you can narrow it right down to what people are really looking for on there. What is it that they're going to Etsy for? But more importantly, you can find out what there is not a lot of competition for on there, because that's what you want to be knowing. You don't want to be facing, when someone types in whatever it is you do, you don't want a million search results to come up. You want 1,000 to come up. You want to be near the top of that list so that people are not getting bored and giving up before they get to the end of the page, or million pages, however many it brings up. You want to be identifying and know what products are being searched for a lot and which ones have the least competition on Etsy. So let me give you an example. Okay, I was doing some research for my other company, Vintage Twee, with the wedding stationery, and I found that Indian wedding invitations had something like over 500 searches per month, but the competition for these products and this keyword was low. Like, that means that there's a lot of people searching for this product, for these Indian wedding invitations, but there weren't many people offering them. So I could see that there was a gap in the market right there, and a potential opportunity to develop a product that is obviously in demand, but it's not being catered for. So eRank is what I use. I find it really helpful. It's up to date, it's updated regularly, daily, I think. It provides detailed data that you can instantly apply to your Etsy shop to make it stand out above the rest. It does cost, I think the basic plan is about £6 per month, which should be adequate for you, be all you need. But it can be a bit confusing to navigate. I mean, I've studied it and figured out how to use it over a few months now. And the main thing I use it for, like I say, is identifying the right keywords I should be using to get my product seen and look for any gaps in the market. And you can also cleverly spy on your competitors using eRank. You can see who is like doing the best at selling whatever it is that you're selling and what keywords they're using and how many sales they're getting and everything. It's like crazy stalker stuff, but it's really useful. So yeah, if you need any help with this kind of thing, this is what I do. I can offer a keyword session, and I'll do it with you. This can be Etsy specific, so we can use my eRank account. We can get the information you need, so that you've got that and you can just go away and apply it to your Etsy shop. You don't have to try and learn eRank like I did. I can just do it for you, with you. It's like 60 quid for a one-off session with me, all done via video call. And you'll come away with like an actual working list of all the best keywords to use in your Etsy shop and your product listings to get found. So I just wanted to mention that in case you were sat there feeling like it's something that you need help with, you'd love to do it, but you don't know how. It's 60 quid, and honestly, it's well worth the money because you will learn so much and you'll probably get your eyes opened about what kind of words you should be using and get any gaps in the market for new products that you could do to get yourself found on Etsy. So you've got and also if you're interested in that, you can visit my website. All my services are on there, and I'll put the link in the show notes. So do just go and have a look there for it. But it's herhandmadehustle.co.uk, and it's all on there, the services section. Right, so you've got your niche read and you're ready to open your Etsy shop, okay? And with this video documentary that I'm doing, I'm literally starting right at the beginning with you. So you can see exactly how I do it through this whole YouTube video series, okay? So I actually opened my shop last week and I recorded my first tutorial as I did it, which will be out this Friday, which is the 6th of September, on my YouTube channel. And honestly, it was very different to what I remember. So I wrote down a few things to tell you, things that you should know before you start so you can be prepared. So for me, when I opened my shop, obviously didn't expect half the stuff, so I had to keep like running upstairs and getting things, and it took me forever. But I'll try and cut that time down for you by telling you right now what it is that you need to open up an Etsy shop. So grab a pen if you've got one handy. So the first thing is they have now introduced a £14 joining fee, which I think is quite recent. But they say it's to cover the identity checks that you now have to go through. So they do this quick security check when you're signing up, just to make sure that you're a real person with a genuine intention to sell your stuff on there. You're not some money launderer or scammer trying to steal someone's bank details, which we will come to shortly. So I think it's a good thing, as it's going to deter the non-genuine people from signing up and just keeps the whole community safer, doesn't it? Like, I actually didn't mind paying that £14. It wasn't a ridiculous amount of money. And yeah, I did feel better doing that. The second thing, oh yes, I have your payment card ready for that when you start the process of opening your shop, because they're going to ask you for that. The second thing in regards to the identity checks, so they basically use an external company called Persona, who just check you are who you say you are, basically, on behalf of Etsy during the sign up process. It's pretty seamless. You probably won't even, think much of it, but basically, as you progress through the setup stage, it will move you onto the Persona identity check, and it just asks you for a form of ID like your driving license or your passport. I use my driving license because my passport expired. It was pre-COVID, and I've not left the country since, which is quite depressing. Anyway, driving license it was for me. I explain it all on my tutorial, but just have one of those IDs with you, ready for the check, as you can't actually move on to the next stage without completing it. Third thing to be aware of, have your bank account details ready, as it's going to ask you where you'd like to get your sale money paid into, as well as where you want to pay your Etsy bills from, of course. They're sort of like the main admin bits that you're just going to need to have ready. And once you've done all that, your shop will be open. Like, it will be officially open. Now, as I said, I did mine last week and I recorded the process. So the first instalment will be available to watch on my YouTube channel this coming Friday. Again, the link will be in the show notes. If you aren't signed up to my YouTube channel yet, please do subscribe and you'll know when it's on there. But you do have to add one product listing to your shop before you open it. So this is part of the setup process. There's like a product listing section. So make sure that you've got at least one thing to put on there before you start, because you don't want to come to it and then it says, oh, upload your product, and then you've not got photos, you've not got a description, you don't know what it is that you want to put on there. So make sure you've got something photographed that you want to sell and you've got a description written. So have one thing ready. That's all you need to open the shop. It doesn't have to be perfect by any means, because all it wants you to do is just fill out the boxes as best as you can. And then what we're going to do is we're going to look at exactly how to make it the perfect product listing, or the best that you possibly can, in another video tutorial. And that will focus on things like how to write your titles and your descriptions and your tags, etc. All those things that you just think, oh God, where do I start? So don't worry about making it perfect for now, because you'll just drive yourself insane. Just make sure you've got an image on there that's, a good image that you want to use, and a basic description if you haven't got anything else, just so you can open your shop. But we're going to be going back into that product listing. We're going to be editing it and making it brilliant. So just get something on there. Now, one thing that has really done my head in since opening this damn shop, it's really irritating me actually, it's the amount of spam messages that I've just been getting in my Etsy inbox. So the Etsy inbox is like an internal messaging system which customers use to contact you. So they don't email you with your email address, that doesn't get revealed, but you will get given a notification to your email from Etsy that will tell you when you've got a conversation in your inbox, in your Etsy inbox. So that's how you know. But I've been on a lot of forums, like handmade forums recently, and I always see people going on about how much spam they get off Etsy. People, fake scammers trying to get you to divulge your details. I'm thinking, oh, it can't be that bad. Like, really? Everyone's just going on about it. I thought, well, I never get any spam in Vintage Twee. I never have. So how can that be happening now with all these new security checks and this fee you have to pay and stuff like that? But it's happening, and apparently it's a big problem. So within 5 minutes of opening my shop, I had a notification from Etsy, like an email pop up saying, oh, you've got a new Etsy conversation. I thought, oh my God, already? Like, wow, I'm popular. This is mad. And then I went on my Etsy conversations, and it's from some random man in Turkey telling me to click this link and verify my Etsy account as a new seller. Right? It's utter bullshit. Don't fall for it. In fact, every time that I've added a product listing, because I've probably got about 20 on there now, keep adding them. Every time I add one, I receive at least 1, 2, 3 of these messages from supposedly Etsy support or Etsy help, asking me to verify my details, click a link, don't. Just mark them as spam. There's an actual option to do this when a message comes in from Etsy, and I'm guessing they've done it because as a result of all this crazy spam that's going on. So you can either accept it or you can mark it as spam. So please just don't fall for it. If it's genuine and if it's really from Etsy support, it'll have a legitimate badge next to it, like the Etsy logo badge, and it shows you on your messages, because it warns you as the message pops up. It says, if this doesn't have this symbol next to it, it is not from Etsy. It could be from a spammer. So that's really good to know. To be honest, unless I see a real greeting, right, in my messages, unless I see someone say, hi, Joanne, with a genuine intention, like, oh, I love your work. I think it would make the perfect gift for my best friend who runs her own jewellery store, and then a real request, such as, can you do it in a different colour? And then signed off with a genuine sentence like, oh, I'm looking forward to hearing from you, and then a name, then I'm sending it to spam heaven. Like, seriously, you can just tell. So don't be alarmed if you get like 100 spam messages popping up. I think that's not many by the sounds of what a lot of people are receiving. I've probably had at least 30 by now. You aren't that popular yet, unfortunately. It is just scammers preying on the vulnerability and the lack of experience from new sellers. If you're unsure, you can always screenshot it, send it to me. I'll tell you if it's real or not. Either that, or give me your login and I'll tell them sod off. Don't worry about it. I do it all the time. So yeah, don't fall for it, okay? But scammers aside, right, it is fun setting up your shop and seeing it come together. My second video in this Etsy tutorial series is going to cover how to get your shop looking good, right? Because you'll notice that when you click the open your shop button, after you've submitted all like the boring information, the important but boring information, like bank details, and done your identity checks and everything like that, you'll click open your shop and you'll expect this amazing, wonderful thing right in front of your eyes. Well, actually, it looks pretty shit, right? There's like one product on there. There's no logo. There's no description of what you do. So you can watch how I do all this and make it look pretty damn good and aesthetically pleasing so that customers go on and think, yeah, this is a great legitimate business. It looks amazing. Now I'm going to show you how to add your logo, or if you don't have one, a photo of your work will do. It actually needs to be something that represents your business and what you do if you don't have a logo. Because as much as I'm sure that people would love to see your beautiful face, it just looks a bit weird that if it's your face, it's your shop icon, because it's not really the place to showcase like your best selfie. There's actually a photo space for a picture of you on there. So save it for that. Okay. So you can be thinking about what image you're going to use for your main shop icon or your thumbnail if you haven't got a logo already. I'm also going to be showing you how to add your shop banner, which is that beautiful graphic that just spans the top of your Etsy shop. So if you go on Etsy and you click on any shop, you'll see that they have a banner right at the top, which usually contains images and photos of your work. You'll have your shop name on there, perhaps your logo, and a short strap line so that people know what they are getting as soon as they land on your Etsy homepage. And it's actually really important to get this right. I do mine on Canva. For those of you that can use it. If you can't, it is relatively simple. I've got a pro account on there, so a few more things I can do with it, but you can do it with a free account, absolutely no problem at all. If design and technical stuff is something that you really struggle with, again, it's something that I can always help you with. Just drop me an email, message me. I can design one for you for like a few quid, I haven't added this to my website yet, as I just wasn't sure if it was something that people would want. So yeah, please do let me know actually if it is, or drop me an email and I'll get back to you. herhandmadehustle@gmail.com. I'm also going to be showing you how to add your shop announcement in the next video, and that is the greeting that will appear at the top of your shop homepage, which customers will read to find out what it is that you do. And it's really important to get that right as well, because you're going to need to include some really good keywords here. So not only increasing your chances of matching the search queries on Etsy, but also matching them on Google, because it does spill over into Google. You've got to get it right in order to be found. I'm going to be breaking down fees. I'm going to be showing you what happens when you sell an item. Hopefully I'll sell an item and I can show you what happens, and how it actually looks on the screen and how you dispatch it, how you set up your delivery and your postage. It's postage, oh my God, it's a small business owner's nemesis, isn't it? shipping costs and working out weight. It used to terrify me when I sell vintage Twee. I've got used to it now. I kind of know what I sell and what it weighs and what sort of package it will fit into, so I can guess and make accurate guesses. But gosh, it took me a long time to get that right. So that's something that we're going to be talking about as we set up the Etsy shop and set up our products. And we're looking at things like how to write your shop policies, plus loads more, absolutely loads more. But the main thing is we'll be taking it step by step so you don't feel overwhelmed and confused, because that is what is probably stopping you right now from even taking the first step and opening up your shop. So I'm going to sort of draw the episode to a close by finishing on a bit of a personal anecdote, like I always like to. My mum always used to tell me that I just had this ability to explain things really well. Stuff that she didn't understand, usually technical things. That was kind of like my forte with her. Like when she got a new phone or iPad, she didn't have a clue how to work it. And I used to write down the instructions for her. I'd break it all down, like literally step 1, press this button to turn on your phone. Step 2, how to send an email from your phone. Click here, do this, do that. And she used to keep the instructions that I gave her in her glasses case. Because whenever she wanted to use either her phone, excuse me, or her iPad, she would need to put her glasses on to see. So it was like the perfect place to keep them. It was really sweet. And I know that she would fully approve of me starting my business venture and Her Handmade Hustle. And I just try to keep those thoughts with me on those days that it feels tough. Because, you're not alone if you also feel like this from time to time. Things just are going really slow and you're plugging away and you're working really hard. It's 10:30 at night here now. I'm recording a podcast, and it's tiring. Of course it is, but it's life, and we have a lot to juggle. So it can feel weird when things are not going to plan and as fast as you would like. So you're not alone with this, trust me. But this is where I'm here to help. So we're going to get this Etsy shop going, and we're going to sell you some things. So next week is so exciting. Okay. I'm interviewing my very first guest. Like I said, it's not family or friends. And it's going to be a very emotional and awe-inspiring episode from an amazing lady who has defeated all odds, right? You will not believe what this woman has been through. And she is now running her own successful business. I'm talking some serious shit here. She has been dealt, quite frankly, some unbelievably awful cards in her life, yet she's found a way to defeat the dealer and win each time. You won't honestly believe what she's been through and come out the other side to become this successful female entrepreneur. And she's going to be sharing her story with us next week, so you don't want to miss that one. Trust me, it's going to be so good. I'm really excited about it. A quick reminder of my WhatsApp service. It is now live. I've had my first subscriber this week, which was an amazing feeling. And I'm really excited to be a source of support for her for the next 6 months of all those niggly things that drive you mad as a small business owner. If it's something that you think you would benefit from, you would like to have me in your back pocket at the end of the WhatsApp message to ask any questions about running a small creative business, anything that comes up day to day that you're just stuck on and you don't know how to do. You can do that from £19 a month. That's all it is. And I'm there. I'm there to help you whenever you want. You can find out more on my website, herhandmadehustle.co.uk, and the link will be in the show notes. So I hope you've enjoyed today's episode. Please rate and review it. If you can, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Ready for the Etsy tutorial videos that are going to be going live on Friday. Let me know what you think of them. Hopefully they don't bore you to death. I've tried my best to keep them as interesting as I can, but at the end of the day it's a tutorial, so I hope I don't sound like I'm droning on a bit, but I'm guessing people are going to be playing and pausing it, so you're not going to be sat there watching it for half an hour solid. But it should be helpful. Any questions, as always, please do message me. And this has been great. So I will see you next week, hopefully, for the next instalment of the Her Handmade Hustle Unplugged podcast.